Hey everybody, welcome back to the Untitled Toops, Unbridled Suits,
I feel like you've
slasher.
done this before.
I feel like I've done this before. I feel like I probably messed that up before. Yes, I probably messed it up a bunch of times actually. I in the same exact way, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm sleepy, and this is what happens when I'm sleepy. Welcome to the Untitled Hoops podcast. I am one of your hosts, Sean. That is your other host, Marquise, a.k.a. I hate Anna Horford, but she's kind of hot in some pictures. Alrighty. Well, let's start with the fact that you put the a.k.a. in the parentheses, and I don't think you needed parentheses at all. If anything, maybe quotes. Okay.
I know, I wanted to do it.
I've seen like her tweets. I don't know what she looks like. I've never bothered to see what she looks like.
Read the fucking thing, Sean. Read it back. Read from but
she's kind of hot in some pictures. Yeah, I get it. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't be able to confirm or deny this. Okay.
Some pictures.
Like
Others,
Ben Simmons' sister.
Which one? The one that be going
not
through
the
all
white
the
ones. No, not the white ones. The
So his sister, like his
full sister.
Like not like because I think the other ones was like his stepsister and stuff like that.
No, his half sibling. They all have the same mom.
I mean, half sibling. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is
the
the podcast where we talk about basketball, mainly the NBA, mainly the 76ers, and Marquise is going to start it off. Sorry, I cut you off.
Sometimes Anna Horford.
Yeah, and sometimes Anna Horford. Al Horford is a former Sixer, so he counts, and he's a player on a team.
And it's not like I'm disrespecting her fully, other than the fact that I hate her. You know, I did call her kind of hot.
In some pictures.
You know, and I feel like that's a compliment. That is a compliment.
Sure.
Okay.
I think there are probably people alive who would say you're kind of hot in some pictures.
In all of them. But, in all of them.
I'm sure there are people who would say that Anna Horford is hot in all pictures as well. Maybe Al.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Can you imagine that?
I don't know.
That last picture you did with my jersey on. It's kind of hot. It's kind of hot. I love it when you wear my jersey. I love that pic, sis. Keep it up. So the Sixers lost the Memphis Grizzlies in the most amazing way possible, and then lose to the Boston Celtics in the most amazing way possible. I was about to say the Boston Horfords, and in this game, Sean, did you watch the game? The Celtics game?
Not live. I did see the final minute live, which roller coaster that was. But what I want to say though is that these last two games have been like playoff basketball games,
and that's going to be like that the rest of this year.
Yep.
It's going to be like that the rest of the year. You have the hardest schedule. And I believe last podcast we made a bet about
if they were going to go 500 or not, right? I think that was it. Yeah.
And I forget when that one started. I have to go back.
It was the last 27 games.
It was before the All-Star game.
No,
it was the last 10.
But we were talking about
it was the next 10.
Yeah, next 10. No, it was the 10 after the All-Star game, though.
No.
It was, because remember, we were thinking that Joel would be sitting out.
10 from where we were.
No, it was after the All-Star game, because remember, we were thinking Joel was going to sit out. He was going to sit out the All-Star game and then sit out for, I think, half of the next stretch of games after the All-Star break because of his foot soreness, but he ended up playing.
either way, or if that's the case, I don't think that's the case, but if that's the case, we're 1-1. But I feel like we started before then.
No,
I feel like it started before then.
We recorded it before the All-Star break had gotten there. We still had games left, but we were specifically talking about the second half of the season. We had the hardest schedule, and we were saying that the next 10 games after the All-Star break would be like the hardest 10-game stretch that anybody has.
I'll just go back. I just go back and watch that part.
Yeah,
but either way. The Sixers, they give me life in Memphis game, and then they take it away, and then it's like God is like cock teasing me. He just cock teased me at the end. He let Joel make the shot. He let him make it. Knowing that it would make Marquise fucking cry in his fucking bed, and like Anna Horford's pictures. Some of them, not all of them. I'm just going back in her pictures. She's married, by the way. Lucky man. Sometimes some pictures, and he's a lucky man.
Looking at pictures, days. I think he's looking at her actual body and face, like in person.
Can you imagine? He's like,
seeing her in
you
person?
Look so hot today. No, with this.
But she's right there, and you're looking at the picture.
Yeah. He's looking at the pictures. Yeah, you look so hot today. She's like, look at me, I am. You look like Al today. I just can't. I can't look at you
like you're about to give Joel hell. I mean, on Twitter.
You know what's crazy? Joel was not affected by that shit.
I think Joel's gotten past the Al Horford, kind of defensive thing, but I think there's still an issue of him guarding Horford because Horford went off in the second half. He had like 5 threes.
I'll be honest with you. Joel's the reason we lost. Like, if we're being honest, Joel was because the fact that he was just like literally not getting to Al Horford. Like, literally Al Horford was open. And like for 3 straight times, Al Horford went on a 9-0 run by himself, and we were up 10 at that point. So he cuts it down to 1 by himself because Joel just did not go out to him and defend him. Like, that's the same shit that happened in the finals. They just did not guard him, and he just went off.
I think whoever, like the whole coaching staff in Boston, the entire organization in Boston, and even in Toronto sometimes, they're really good at putting Joel in situations where he knows, like, he's the defensive anchor out on the floor, and he has to be that rim protector and like be the guy in the paint. But then you make him guard a big who goes and just like steps outside and can shoot quick threes. So it's like when they're going back in transition, Joel has to guard the rim, but at the same time, Horford can just kind of float out to the wing or the corner and just like camp out there, and nobody else is big enough to guard him. So of course it looks bad on Joel because that's his man, but he's also playing help defense, and it's like they're really good at getting him to like make a decision and then putting the ball wherever he does not go.
They were baiting Joel, because they would have Tobias Harris guarding Tatum, and Tatum would drive in, Tobias would give in a little bit, and then Joel would shift over.
Yep.
But it's like, at the same time, Tatum wasn't on shit that entire game until like the last, like he got a tip in here or there, but he couldn't buy a shot to save his fucking life. So I would let Tobias contest that and stay with Al, because Al literally was the reason they got back into it. Because we were up 17 at a point. They kind of dwindled the lead. It was like back and forth. Like you knew they were going to make a run. It's the Celtics. You knew they're a good team. They were going to make a run.
Yeah.
And then it was like, damn, bro, like, all right. Now, do you want to do it? Okay, you're just going to keep letting him do it. And then he hit like another one a couple possessions later, same shit. Where it's like, damn, bro, like, y'all not going to, like, okay, I understand, like, you'll live with it, but, like, he's fucking killing you right now. Like, you know what I mean? At a certain point, all right, he's a shooter right now. Like, go get him. Like, and it was too late at that point, because once you started guarding Al Horford, Jason Tatum now wants to find a shot. So now it's like, you let her play around. You played around with that 15-point lead that you had, and then you had,
17.
Ass. Yeah, 17. Yeah, played around with it. You had them down. The same shit. I got PTSD from that first game against the Celtics in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think Al Horford has the savvy of knowing, like, Joel's big. He's amazing on offense. He's a great defender, but he's still one guy. He can't be in two places at once. As long as I stay away from him, like, I can either manipulate, like, the defense because he is the defense, kind of, by drawing him in certain areas, or by having everybody else go in a certain way, and we know James Harden can't stay in front of whoever he's guarding. We know, I mean, James Harden has been showing me a lot defensively, like, over this past stretch or whatever. Like, he's definitely not like Matador Harden, and I think that comes partially from him not having to take on so much of the scoring load anymore, and him being more of a passer. He's definitely showing a lot more effort and intensity on the defensive end than I think people were giving him credit for before. I mean, even in the Grizzlies game, he, like, dove on the floor for a loose ball and, threw the outlet to Joel for that dunk. But still,
what's crazy?
He's still a defensive, like, not liability, but he's not the best defensively. So it's like Joel has to be there to help for them. He knows Jason Tatum, even though he's not shooting well, he's still Jason Tatum. He can still go off whenever. So it's like you have to be available to play help defense as the center, as the last line of defense. But it's like when Al Horford's the furthest guy from the basket, you can't really play help defense at the rim and then close out on a three-point shooter. Like, you just can't do it. And then on top of that, on the other times when he is out there with Horford, guys kind of, drive into the paint and then kick out and pass and, just keep the ball moving and disorient the other defenders enough that eventually they get an open shot for a guy like Derek White coming off the bench.
All right, so Sean, I got two quotes for you, right?
Go ahead.
And I want you to guess who these players are. We've got to figure this out very, very quickly. This was by a player after a game. Who was this player?
That's it? That could be literally anybody.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm tired of losing. We've got to figure this out very, very quickly.
Joel?
It was not Joel.
Wait, Joel's tired of losing, like, in general, or to who?
Tired of losing in general.
Oh, in general. Oh, so this probably wasn't a Sixers player, right?
It was not a Sixers player, but
okay. Oh, okay. I'm tired of losing. We got to figure this out. Was it LeBron?
LeBron is not a former Sixer player.
Oh, you said it was a former Sixer.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said it wasn't. I thought you said it was not. It's not a Sixer. It's not a former Sixer. Okay, so it was a former Sixer.
Former Sixer said this.
A former Sixer said this. This season?
Yes, this was yesterday.
Oh, okay. A former Sixer said this yesterday.
Probably one of the ones that we said we let get away. It was the one that got away.
I'm trying to think who's losing right now.
The one that got away, John. Who's the one Sixer that got away? We wanted him to resign, but he didn't resign.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy.
Jimmy Butler. The Heat are on a 4-game losing streak.
Yeah.
They are 7th seed in the East. They are only a game in front of the Hawks. They're only a game and a half in front of the Raptors from falling from 7th to 9th. They're on a 4-game losing streak. And the Heat have been ass this entire, mediocre, I guess you could say. But they've been ass. And we play them next. They're next. I think we played them twice, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we played them tomorrow and Wednesday.
What do you think is happening? Like, why is this happening?
It's happening because they chose not to do anything in the offseason and stayed pat while everybody else got better. They chose continuity over just getting better. They didn't. Who did they get?
They lost.
Kevin Love. That's it. Right. They got Kevin Love,
PJ.
but like lost PJ. You brought back Victor Oladipo, and that's kind of it. Like that's all they did. And then the trade deadline, they traded away a 2nd-round pick to get rid of Dwayne Dedmon.
Yeah. So
it's like you didn't get anything. I mean, Kevin Love, but cool. But Kevin Love is at the back half of his career. So it's like you didn't do nothing. you got Jimmy on this contract for the next 3 years. Tyler Hero doesn't seem like he's improving.
3 years? Did Jimmy get an extension or something?
He got an extension. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say he should have like a year left or 2 years left. Like Tobias, he's signed the same year.
No, he got an extension.
Oh, okay.
Tyler Hero stayed the same.
Yeah.
Bam has gotten a little better, but like not to the point where you go, that is game changing.
Yeah.
And it's like literally, it's to a point now where it's like, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's weird. Like I feel like we've never seen anything like this before, where you have a team that was in the finals and then 2 straight conference finals.
Yep. Except for they got eliminated first round 1 year because they went against Milwaukee, and they got swept. That was the year after. Yeah.
Well, they went finals.
They went finals
2020.
Yeah, there was finals. They got swept in the first round, and then Eastern Conference Finals.
Right. Okay. So it's like, how do you? I don't know. It's like they've been consistently. Even in the year they got swept in the first round, weren't they like the 5th seed or something like that?
Yeah, I think the Bucks were. That was the year we were the 1st seed. I think. I believe.
Yeah.
So they were like the 3rd or 4th. Yeah. So it probably was a 4-5.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
So I think they were the 4th.
I could check.
I think it was us, Boston, Milwaukee, Miami.
The year we got first. It was Milwaukee 3, Miami 6.
Oh, okay. So they were 6.
They were 6, yeah.
So it was a 3-6.
Yep, 3-6. And they got obliterated.
But it's weird. Like I've never seen a team fall off this hard. I mean, and it's like, to be fair, if that's the case, they're showing a bit of a pattern. Like to go from the finals, and then the next year they're the 6th seed, and then they're the Eastern Conference Finals, and then the next year they're the 7th seed.
But there's nothing. There's nothing that is happening because they went from being getting eliminated by the Bucks who had PJ, to getting
PJ, yeah,
to then losing PJ, and then losing like literally nothing getting better.
Yeah,
nothing progressed.
It's weird.
Listen,
it's weird because it's not their fault. It's just that everyone around them got better.
I mean, it is their fault because they didn't try.
No, I mean, like
they literally feels like
they didn't. Besides losing PJ, they didn't do anything significantly like to get worse. You know what I mean? Like it's not like the year that we lost Jimmy and JJ and then signed Al Horford. Like we got worse. Like we literally made ourselves worse. Like Miami hasn't really done that. Besides losing PJ, they haven't really done anything to make themselves worse. It's just that everyone else around them is getting better. Boston's getting better. Milwaukee's gotten better. We've gotten better. I mean, the Hawks have regressed. That's about it. Other than that, like the top teams from last year and the year before are still the top teams.
Every time the Hawks start losing, they change their head coach and then they start winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
They start winning.
It's weird.
So, Quinn Snyder's their new coach. He's
meanwhile,
gonna have a hell of a job trying to
meanwhile, Boston has changed coaches however many times, and they've been pretty consistently good still.
But then again, they have fucking Al Horford and Marcus Smart, the guys that keep everybody kind of in check. So it was never going to get too out of hand.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, respectively, because like literally, like, and this is the thing, like Al Horford got booed, and this was like Anna Horford's big thing that he was still getting booed. Well, he didn't do shit. he was here, he didn't do shit. But like I have said on this podcast before that Al Horford would fit this team. Like I feel like, yeah, not even as a backup. I think he could play 4. If you have PJ playing the 4, you have Al Horford playing the 4.
Nah.
Like I feel like no, you can have Al Horford playing the 4 next to Joel.
No, maybe, yeah. In a lineup that Ben Simmons is not in, sure, probably.
No, I'm saying like this, and with this team, yes.
I'm saying in a starting lineup that has no Ben Simmons, yeah, you probably could have Al Horford playing the 4. But at the same time, Al Horford, I don't think is as mobile of a defender as PJ. I think what makes PJ useful is the switchability between him and Tobias. Like,
I feel like you could do that with Al Horford too. I mean, he's not the same as he was anymore.
I don't know if you want to put Al Horford on a 3.
Al Horford can contain himself. Okay. I feel like Al Horford and Tobias Harris' defense is the same at this point.
Nah. I think Tobias is a little bit more mobile, a little bit better lateral quickness than Al. Al has better instincts. I'll give him that for sure. But in terms of just physical ability, like, I mean, I would say Tobias and PJ are probably still ahead of Al in that regard.
I just like his level-headedness.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, sad. Like,
I would rather him come off the bench, because that's a significant improvement to the bench unit. And on top of that, it's a guy who, and on a bench like ours that's very young, he could be a defensive anchor and like that level-headed guy for the young guys like Tyrese and Shake and, you know, even Niang, who, you know, I think people forget was only drafted like, what, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, Niang was drafted in the same draft as Ben Simmons, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So, what, 7 years ago?
Yeah.
Still, been in the league less than 10 years. So, like, I think for that unit, he could be that, like, that kind of leader, you know, the guy who kind of settles everybody down and keeps the boat afloat, right? So and that way we know if we go into a lead, if the bench comes out and we have a lead, the lead will be maintained.
So, well, speaking of George Niang, I don't know if you've seen, but George Niang took some shots at Ben Simmons.
Why?
Yeah, so he was on. I want to get this correct. The source correct.
Did they play together? They didn't play together.
The John Kincaid show on 95, The Fanatic. Basically, Pat Egan said, "What's the difference between this year, at this point, last year's team? Last year's team just gotten hard. Oh, this is like the whole conversation. So basically, they asked him what was the difference, because we're 5 games ahead of where we were last year at this point. Mm-hmm. And he was like, let me be honest, Ben Simmons handicapped us. He said Ben handicapped us. I don't think that's
taking shots.
He said Ben handicapped us, and then somebody on part of his team goes, yeah, Ben's not in the rotation no more, which is crazy. Ben Simmons is not in the rotation no more. We told the Nets fans this was happening. They didn't believe us. Ben Simmons, and he goes, well, that's not my problem. And he has a little fucking smirk. Wait, we go down.
That's taking shots. I was going to say, saying Ben handicapped this is not taking shots. If anything, it's just the truth, but that's not my problem. This is a little bit of a shot.
Okay, he said building a team when you don't know who he's playing every night is very hard to think about. And then when the trade deadline came around, there was talks within the team, within the locker room, of who's being attached with him, because they knew at that point the Sixers were targeting James Harden, and they knew it was not going to be a straight up.
Yeah.
And then he said, you have to figure it out, or other role players have to step up and replace, the passing, the dribbling, the rebounding, the defense. Kincaid said, you didn't say shooting. And Niang said, exactly my point. So George Niang took some shot. George Niang is perfect. He's perfect fit for this city. He's perfect.
For sure.
I said out of him or Shake, who do you bring back? I said George Niang. Because I feel like Shake is not going to get the time he's going to want to, because especially, I don't understand bringing Tyrese off the bench no more. It doesn't look good no more. I feel like the first couple games cool, but now we've seen a bigger sample size of it. It doesn't look good. He's overthinking it.
Yeah, that's the issue. I think he's not playing with the same. See, the problem was bringing him off the bench was supposed to give him that sense of freedom that he didn't have quite as much of playing next to James. Whereas, now, as you're the lead ball handler of the second unit, you pretty much go out and do what you want to do. The game kind of flows through you. But yeah, it seems like he's overthinking it instead of just playing with that freedom and that joy that we're used to seeing him play with.
And what I would say is, now that you have him coming off the bench, you kind of take away Shake's role completely.
Yeah.
Because it's like you really can't play Shake because Tyrese has the ball in his hand and Shake is not a spot-up shooter.
Right.
And like I honestly feel like D'Anthony hasn't been playing good starting. Like his defense has been there. But he hasn't been the same these last couple of games.
Well, I mean, I think the defense was why they wanted to start him in the first place.
No, for real. Yeah.
But I think the shooting, I think it'll come and go. But I think it's also a rhythm thing. I don't think he's getting up the shots that he was during the time when, Joel was out and like James was kind of like in and out of the rotation, and you know what I mean? Like it's not the same anymore. I think now when it's like, okay, you're the starter. Like we're not experimenting anymore. Like this is your job. This is what we need you to do every single game. And now I think also you have enough sample size where teams are keying in on him a little bit. Like they know, okay, he's the 3-and-D guy. We can't leave him. If you're going to double Joel, you probably want to leave PJ, not D'Anthony. Whereas before it was probably the opposite. You would leave D'Anthony and stay home on PJ and Tobias. Whereas, now D'Anthony's not really getting any open shots.
That's why, we should switch it back. We should go put Tyrese back into the starting lineup, put D'Anthony back off the bench. Him and Shake seemed like they had something going. It made sense in the beginning, to test it out just to see, because obviously Tyrese would be the best scorer we would have off the bench. Like even with Shake doing it, he would be the better one to come off the bench, and his skill set is really tailored. A guy who just get buckets. He's tailored as your prototypical six man, guy who comes in, get buckets, goes back out. Not the best defender, but can score in bunches.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he would be a six man, but it's like he's better with the starters. He's better. He's better with the starters.
He's not as much of a focal point too.
Because look, also he
see the thing
you said he benefit off of Joel. Literally you gotta double Joel, and Joel would be posting up. Tyrese Maxey would cut, and he's at the rim.
Yeah. See, the difference is all Tyrese needs is a running start.
Yeah.
If he can get a running start at the rim, he's going to finish with either a nice layup, a tough layup, contested layup, or a floater or a runner. And those are high percentage shots for him. But when there's nobody in the paint like a Joel Embiid garnering that much attention, or James Harden out in the perimeter, handling the ball, or Tobias, in the corner waiting for a catch and shoot. When there's not those other weapons out there to take attention, from the defense, you're not getting those lanes to the basket. So it's like Tyrese, when he's coming off the bench, they know he's the guy. So they're not leaving him at all. He has somebody on his hip from the moment that he catches the ball up until he decides to shoot or pass it. So there is no, I just got to get a running start. You got to get around somebody first. And that's where we're starting to see him sort of struggle a little bit, is with the moves, the dribble moves, getting loose, getting separation. Those are some of the things that he's kind of starting to get, not exposed, but it's just that's not his strength.
Yeah. So last 5 games for D'Anthony Melton, he's 21 minutes a game, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 35% from the field, 38% from 3. It's not D'Anthony Melton.
No. I mean, the 38% from 3 is it's good, but at the same time, if you're shooting 38% from 3, but you're only averaging 5 points, then what that tells me is that teams are getting good at running you off the 3-point line or making you pass the ball. Because he's not getting those open shots anymore. So he's either passing it off or he's, pump fake, 2 dribbles into the mid range and then pass, and then try to put up some type of weird shot, and that's what's killing his field goal percentage.
Tyrese Maxey is the last 5 games, 15.6 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 44% from the field, 25% from 3.
Yeah, because he's not getting the lanes to the basket. See, it's the opposite. Both of them need what the opposite has.
Yeah,
like Tyrese needs to get to the basket, whereas DeAnthony needs somebody to let him shoot the 3. They're not letting Tyrese get to the basket, and they're not letting DeAnthony shoot the 3. They're making him try to become a driver, a creator. And for Tyrese, they're making him stick out in, the perimeter.
Okay.
But see, the problem too is that an issue of them being in the positions that they're in, where now Tyrese is coming off the bench and DeAnthony is starting, or is that more of an issue of, okay, teams have just kind of figured us out? Because we're also playing really good teams that are obviously going to have really good scouting reports and know how to key in on guys.
I would say you could say a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say more so we're like we said, Tyrese benefits off of like when he's the main guy. When Tyrese Maxey's coming off the bench and he's by himself in the bench unit, you know where like the offense is going to be generated from.
Yeah.
Versus if he's with Joel and James, he could be lost in the shuffle, and that's where he could be his most dynamic, is when you're not thinking of him.
Yeah.
And he could really like we're talking about a guy who put up 44 in a playoff game.
Yeah.
Like literally, Joel didn't have it. James was struggling. 44 points. Like he can do it. It's just about like when you forget about him, that's where he's at his best. Whereas though I feel like Shake, you're eliminating 3 people at this point now with this Tyrese coming off the bench. Tyrese, Shake, and DeAnthony.
Yeah. Like
Shake and DeAnthony off the bench, they had that little thing going on where they just feed off each other. Dwayne Dedmon has yet to play. He's had some setbacks because of a hip injury.
Yeah.
And it's like they had this 1-2 punch, and it's like we changed it to understand taking it, trying something. I understand trying something. Tyrese just came back off the injury from his foot, and it was like DeAnthony had showed you that he was capable starter, but at the same time, now you gotta like try to figure something out because now it's just like it's falling apart. And obviously we still are winning. We were on a 5-game winning streak before that.
Mm-hmm.
Before that loss to Boston, but still it's like you see it and it looks very like choppy. Like it looks very like damn, like he doesn't know when and where. All 3 of them, they don't know when and where. And I don't think Shake has played like significant minutes. Yeah, he's played 10 minutes. He's averaged 10 minutes in the last 5 games.
Yeah. I don't. Like you know what I think might be a bit of a help is to have, if you're going to keep Tyrese coming off the bench, still make Shake the primary ball handler. Because Shake, I think, is a little bit, obviously Tyrese is faster with the ball. He's a better finisher around the rim. He's just like he'll just go and get buckets. But when it comes to like ball handling, Shake is very, very shifty. And I think he's probably better suited to be that sort of point guard, like de facto point guard of the second unit, whereas Tyrese is just the scorer. Like
look at this. Against Houston, Shake played 19 minutes. Against Cleveland, he played 10. Against Memphis, he played 8. And against Boston, he played 2.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're literally putting Tyrese, giving the ball to Tyrese and telling Shake to go sit in the corner.
Yeah. I think, you know what else the issue is, too, is that we don't really have that many guys who can score, not shoot, but score and play like decent defense. Really, we only have one guy, and that's Joel.
Yeah.
Tobias can play decent defense on certain types of guys. Like, he can stay in front of guys, but he's not, like, going to wow you with anything defensively. But he can score when he gets the opportunity to. James is, like I said, showing me more on the defensive end as of late, but he's still not that great of a defender. And then you have DeAnthony, who is a good defender, but he's a shooter. He's not necessarily a scorer. He's a shooter slasher.
Right.
So we really don't have anybody who can score and defend. So the problem is, no matter where you put Tyrese or DeAnthony, you're going to have the same issue. Because if you move DeAnthony to the bench, now you have the same issue in the starting lineup that you have on the bench, where you have Harden and Tyrese, who both of them will give, they'll give you some effort, but neither one of them are decent defenders. But then on the other hand, on the bench now you have DeAnthony and Shake, which is probably a better combination.
But I'll also throw now there's DeAnthony, there's Shake, and I love Jalen McDaniels. I fucking love him. I fucking love Jalen McDaniels.
I like Jalen McDaniels, but it's the same thing. He's not a scorer. He can knock down threes and he can play decent defense, but he can't score. He's not a guy who can go and get his own bucket.
I feel like the addition of him, right? Because you will play him at the 3, and you play Niang at the 4, and then I guess your 5 is whoever.
Yeah. As of late, Paul Reed.
Right, as of late, yeah, whoever that is. And that defensively, Paul Reed, the Jalen McDaniels, and DeAnthony Melton, those switches are fucking crazy. Like that, we were playing against who? And
well, it is, but you're talking about the bench. But remember, if you move DeAnthony to the bench, now you have issues defensively in your starting lineup.
But this is my whole thing. At that point, we have had slow starts to every game, right?
Yeah,
we've had slow starts. Tyrese Maxey picks that up. So when your bench comes in, you have a lot of defensive guys. You have the guys who could drive and kick, and you have your shooters out there, which should keep the lead or even build upon it. Because of the way it would.
But remember, that's if you get one, because we're also not stopping guys at the same level if Tyrese is in the starting lineup. We're not getting as many stops early on. Like yesterday against Boston, we actually started pretty good, like defensively.
No, for real. I mean, like, what's his name? Jason Tatum wasn't scoring. Like, he had 5 points at the half.
Yeah. But then,
I mean, yes, but still, it's also like, damn, like, we could have stepped on the necks if the guys could have hit some shots. Obviously, the Joel thing happened. But, like, some more shots. Because, we get in that place where it's like, neither team is scoring. All right, then Boston starts scoring, and we still can't find it.
Yeah.
Whereas, though, I feel like Tyrese in that moment, cut to the rim, throw up a floater, like, you know what I'm saying, get fouled, things like that. Because, like, when they're going to Joel, and it's like, fuck, they were, like, literally playing suffocating defense on Joel. Mm-hmm. At a point where it's like, damn, James gets it, but they close out on James quickly. James is not as quick to get to the rim. I mean, he has been better.
Yeah.
He definitely has been better. But it's not as like if Joel kicked it to Tyrese, and Tyrese just burner.
Yeah.
Like, there's no Al Horford. Like, Al Horford a couple times slowed James. I think Robert Bill Williams did a good job. Grant Williams did a good job of, like, just, like, not letting him get past him as much. Whereas, though, they have no fucking they have no chance.
Yeah.
They don't have the foot speed with Tyrese. And it might just be those instances where it's like, those just in those certain situations where that Tyrese could be played more. But it also could just be, like Joel and Tyrese should be probably on the floor more together. I feel like the pick and roll of James Harden should be to start the game and to close the game. And I would have Tyrese, probably James out there with like a pick and roll center. I think his favorite obviously we haven't seen Dwayne Dedman yet, but his favorite of the two is Montrez.
Yeah.
Where like you could have a pick and pick and roll with Montrez, or pick and roll. I mean, Jalen McDaniels has been catching lobs and shit. So, like, pick and roll with Jalen McDaniels, throwing up lobs to him and facilitating with that, with James having that run, but then also have Tyrese with Joel, which, like I said, he gets lost in the shuffle because you have to focus so much on Joel, and then the pick and roll to end the game. Because nobody's fucking with that.
You know what's crazy? I'm going to be honest with you. And this is one of the few things that I can honestly commend Brett Brown on that Doc Rivers has just not done. Pick and rolls with your 4.
Oh yeah.
Like, I haven't seen a single James Harden Tobias Harris pick and roll. Like, imagine that. Imagine if you don't even have, like, put Joel in the dunker spot. 7-2 Joel in the dunker spot. Put DeAnthony and PJ on the wings and run a pick and roll with, or no, put D'Anthony on the wing and PJ in the corner, on the opposite corner of Joel, and run a pick and roll with Tobias and James. Tobias can pick and roll or pick and pop. James can go to the basket and put up a floater or a layup, or he can just dump it off to 7-2 Joel. And, I mean, who's stopping that when he's that close to the basket? Like, I'm surprised I haven't seen any of those. Like, that's the thing. There's so many. See, that's part of why I feel like the whole issues of us having slow starts or not being able to hold on to leads is I mean, obviously, yes, the lineups are a part of it, but it's also how you use the players. Like, we've gotten so predictable,
very much,
with our offense that it's
that's why when Tobias Harris has a great game, we often win because you don't expect shit from him.
Exactly.
Like, it's to the point where, like, our offense is literally Joel, James. Joel goes to the bench. James goes to the bench. Tyrese. Yeah. And then it's like, when the fuck is Tobias going to get his time? Because especially, like, his pull-up mid-range, he doesn't really post up anymore. Like, against Boston was the first time I seen him post up in a minute.
Our best games is when we can have a third or fourth guy score 20+. So it's usually one of the three between Tobias, Tyrese, and George. And the games when George goes off, we blow teams out.
This the thing is that you want one of them to be. Like, by the time playoffs start, we have to have at least one of them filling themselves. Mm-hmm. Like, one of them filling us up. And then 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to be Tyrese.
Yeah.
Because I feel like of the two, Tyrese is the more reliable one.
Well, not even that. I mean, Tyrese is also the one who's just like, I don't care. Like, Tyrese is the one who's just like, I'm going to fucking go and try and get a bucket. Like, that's just what I'm going to do. Whereas Tobias is more of like level-headed, like, not to say that Tyrese isn't level-headed, but Tobias...
Follow the pace of the offense.
Yeah, Tobias is like, what do I need to do to help us win? Whereas Tyrese is just like, I'm just going to go score. Like,
right, like, Joel's talked about it, like he said in the post-game conference, like he talked to Tyrese. Tyrese had like a one-on-one of like, Tyrese came up to him and said, what do I have to do more? What can I do to help you? And Joel was literally just like, shoot it.
Yeah.
Like, shoot it, bro. Like, you shoot 40%. You shoot 40% from three. You're literally the best, like, percentage-wise shooter. I think George Niang has, because it's a recent stretch of him shooting poorly, I think George Niang has that title now. But, like, he was shooting 42% from three on, like, 6 attempts. Mm-hmm. So, like, you shoot, like, fuck everything else.
Yeah.
Shoot it. And when you're on fire from shooting it, drive it. Like, you know what I mean? Like literally, like, Joel can really go point to, like, I'm a 35% 3-point shooter, but when I pump, these motherfuckers jump.
Yeah,
like, literally, like, and it's not even a shooting motion. Motherfucker just puts the ball over his head with both hands.
He literally just does. He just does this,
right? And they just go for it because. When all Embiid needs is one shot to fall through for him to catch rhythm again. That's what happened against Memphis.
And it's because Joel's shot is so slow that everybody feels like I can make it. Like,
right.
Everybody feels like I can get it. I can make it. I can get there and I can contest. I can get it. I can tip it. I can throw it off course. But it's just like he's going slow on purpose. He wants you to try and come out here and block it. And then he'll just walk right past you with, like, the slowest drive ever, the slowest Euro step ever.
And Tyrese is going to figure it out. Like, literally, unfortunately. But, like, I feel like Tyrese will figure it out more than Tobias. Because I feel like Tobias, like you said, flows in the pace of the offense rather than going, all right, it's my time.
Yeah.
My time, give me the fucking ball. Like, I've seen Tyrese wave off Joel.
Yeah.
Like, Joel will start to post up. Tyrese will be like, yo, go.
Yeah.
Like, go.
You're in
Let
my
me clear
way.
this out. Like, literally, you're in my way. And Joel respects that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, all right, it's your turn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, James is doing too. James has done too, where, like, he gets a mismatch. Joel's posting up. Hey, let me get it.
Yeah.
Like, Joel doesn't care as long as he's winning. Like, he doesn't give a fuck as long as you score. If you score, he does not give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just don't do that shit and miss. Like this,
right? Because then it's like, nah.
No, like next time down is you're gonna try to wave him up. Like, no, motherfucking no,
I'm not going anywhere.
Right. And that's the only thing. Like, you know what I mean? Just confidence. And I feel like once he's a guy where like he's going to get it back, and when he gets it back, it's going to be spectacular again. These last games, like he's scoring well, like 15 points, I think I said, but it's not as efficient as he is, and it's not the same way that he normally does. It's more forced than anything.
I feel bad for Tobias sometimes.
I do. Because
like
we're back in a situation where I said before, when I was like, why we should trade him, because I was like, Doc is not using them right.
Yeah.
But then like it's just like, because like literally, the last game was the first time I seen him post up, in like probably 10 games.
Yeah.
Like it was that, and Tobias is a post scorer, mid range scorer. Like you need that in the playoffs when the threes aren't falling, and you would think that you would go to him more, especially in the mismatches. Like Tobias is like 6'8", 240. You don't go to him a lot, and it's crazy because like a lot of the times there's a mismatch. Everybody's playing small ball. He is 6'8", 240. He's stocky. Like he got a weight to him. Like let him do his thing, and normally when he gets there, he makes it.
Yeah.
So and I guess it's like if we're going to slow the game down for anybody, I guess their mentality, if we're going to slow it down for anybody, it's going to be Joel or it's going to be James. But it's like, let him catch his shit, because then it makes it easier for you two, because they got to think twice now about doubling.
Yep.
But you know,
it's like when you're surrounded by these generational talents, which, I mean, you know, you got James Harden, you got Joel Embiid. It's like, it's easy to ask, and the problem too is that Tobias is a bit of a like Swiss Army knife.
Yeah,
like he's not a master of anything, but he's definitely a jack of all trades. Like he can shoot from the three, he can shoot from mid range, he can finish at the rim. He's athletic, he's got size, like he's mobile, he can handle the ball. He's a jack of all trades. But the problem is, when you're a jack of all trades and master of none, you have to figure out, okay, which, like, you have to think through your game. It's like, all right, which tool do I pull out today? You know what I mean? And it's like a lot of times it's hard to even figure that out until you're in the rhythm of the game. So we've seen a lot of like slow starts for Tobias, and on top of that, when you're the only person who's not the only person, but when you're the guy who's that jack of all trades in the starting lineup, it's like you're being asked to do a different thing almost every single game. Whereas Joel is always asked to do the same thing, protect the rim and score. James Harden, pass the ball and score. Tyrese Maxey, score. PJ Tucker, play great defense and knock down a corner three from time to time. D'Anthony Melton, play great defense and knock down a three from time to time. Like, with Tobias, is like every single game, his job can change completely.
Because, like, literally, because I literally said Maxey, I expect to be the third guy. But, like, Tobias's game and the position he plays, like, that should be your third guy.
Yeah.
Literally, like, the way he plays, you would go, that's your third guy. Because Tyrese is, like I said, is more fitted, and his game is more tailor-made for the six-man role. Tobias Harris should be that guy. Like this season, he's not been bad. Like, this season, he's averaging 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, half a block, shooting 50% from the floor, 38% from three, 85% from the free throw line. He's not having a bad season by any means. Honestly, this is one of his more better seasons, I would say, because of like the adjustments he's made and like just the steps he take forward to be the third, fourth, sometimes even fifth option. But it's like, I just want to see him more. Like, I want to see him, like, it's like there's not a lot of Tobias Harris game. We haven't had a Tobias Harris game this year where it's like Tobias Harris was the reason we won. Or like, I mean, obviously you could say like he hit one of the main shots against Memphis, but like a game where it's like the best player was Tobias Harris. We haven't had that.
It's hard to be consistent in an inconsistent role.
100%.
And, you know, even for a guy like Tobias, you know, it's unfortunate because he's always been good enough to not get ignored, but not good enough to get the touches. Like, he's not going to get Joel Embiid or James Harden touches in a game where we want you to shoot the ball 30 times. Like, he's never going to have a coach, except for when he was with the Clippers with Doc, because he was literally the best player on the team. But since then, and even before then, Tobias has consistently been on teams where he's like one of the better scorers, but the team is trash, or he's got a lot of talent around him and he has to sort of take a back seat. So it's like, you're never really going to see a game where Tobias Harris can score 40. Like, it's just never going to happen. At least not on a good team. So it's like, he gets overlooked constantly, even though he could do it. It's like Rudy Gay. Like Rudy Gay back in the day was like, everybody knew he was a problem, but it was just he never really had those
time. Yeah,
he never had those games where you would say like, oh, that's one of the best scorers in the league, even though you knew he could get a bucket on anybody. It was just it was a timing thing.
Yeah, I definitely want to see him use more. I feel like Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris are the X factors.
Mm-hmm.
I think obviously James is too. Like, we have a lot of X factors. Like, literally in terms of the players that we need to step up is Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey. Obviously, Joel's health plays a factor, and James not going away in the playoffs, taking vacation early. Like, and then every time James has a big game, like after recently, there's the Houston thing that heats up again. It gets put out there that somebody said there was a 7 out of 10 chance James goes back to Houston
if we lose.
It's like, right. Yeah. And this whole thing, every time James Harden has a big game, all of a sudden this thing is coming out again.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay. Like, at a certain point, like, we've been Sixer fans. We have seen all the bullshit, the Brian Colangelo with the fake fucking Instagrams and liking shit and saying things. It's like, bro, we know when there's a PR stunt.
Yeah.
Like, we know when, okay, you want your money, bro. Like, we understand that you want your money. Because literally, it's like, don't make it fucking obvious after every great game you have, that this is okay.
Yeah,
well, James Harden might go back to the Rockets. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he might go back to the Rockets.
Yeah,
and it's like, this is the whole thing with the Sixers. If James Harden leaves, like, if we get far enough in the playoffs, right? Say we get the Eastern Conference Finals and we go 6-7 games and we lose. And when James Harden walks, we're still good.
Yeah,
because Tyrese Maxey's still here. Anthony Melton's still here.
And James Harden leaving frees us up to go and get somebody else.
I don't think that's how that works.
It does, because if he doesn't take on the second year of his contract, we
don't get that money. We don't
to spend.
No, you gotta think about it. Bird rights. That's how we would be able to get him. That's how we were able to sign him last year. Bird rights. So you could go over your cap to go get him. No, because of Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, and the rest of the guys on our roster, we would have money, but we wouldn't have $30 million.
But remember, we signed him, we re-signed him with the bird rights, but we still signed him for less than we could have because we wanted to go and get PJ. So we still saved money even on the contract that he's on now. So if he doesn't come back, we actually save more money.
We're going to have money, but it's not going to be.
Oh no! It's not like a max contract.
It's going to be like in the 17s.
Yeah, of course.
Everything else.
It's not going to be anything groundbreaking, but it's going to be enough to go out and get a guy who can be serviceable at the point guard position.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's a lot of guys who I feel like are serviceable, but obviously are the best defensively. Like, I always felt like D'Angelo Russell was a guy that could come here, close games. Yeah. You know, like shit like that, but obviously gives it back defensively. And I think he's more so like a basically Tyrese Maxey 2.2. Like, because, you know, his game. Like, he can facilitate better than Tyrese Maxey. And I think that's what Tyrese Maxey's next step should be. Learn how to facilitate, when and where to take a shot, when to pass the ball, when to drive and kick. Like, that's his next step. Because he's been, like, literally everything that he's been giving, he has shown he can take. But, like, guys like that, like, because, like, what I'm looking at is the team is going to be intact. It's just going to be no James Harden.
Yeah.
Because literally, who else? I mean, George Niang, you will resign. Shake, you probably will let walk. You still have a Jaden Springer. You still have Furkan that you could trade. Jaden Springer, Furkan, and I think Daniel House. And Montrezl is definitely going to pick up his fucking player option.
Yeah.
So that's 4 guys that you could move out. Yeah. That you could dump somewhere. Probably free up more cap. You probably got to attach like a second-round pick to it. Cool, whatever. You got to take a test pick to double buff to the team. But we're not in the worst spot. But obviously we have to go deeper in the playoffs than we ever been for this to even kick in.
Yeah.
Because if we go first round, second round again, Joel can X out. Mm-hmm. Like, he could be done. You know what I mean? And, like, literally, I feel like for us, obviously this is the best time. This is the best shot. This is if we're going to do it, this is going to be the year. Mm-hmm. But if we go deep into the playoffs and, like, Joel goes, okay, I'll give it another year. Like, we can be in a place where we're waiting out other teams.
Yeah.
Where, in a sense, where, like I told you, I brought up the Jimmy Butler thing. I brought that up for a reason. Because if Jimmy Butler wants out, or Jimmy Butler does not see that this is going to happen, or the Miami Heat's like run has ran their course, there is a max contract that we have been talking about being a better third option. And Tobias Harris. We still have the 2029 pick, that first round pick. Hey, this guy, cool. You're not getting Maxey, obviously. You're not.
Yeah, of course.
That's not happening.
But you can get Tobias in the 2029 and
unprotected.
Yeah.
Even though I would want to protect it, but like at that point you're trying to win, so you probably just say fuck it because you don't want them to turn their eye somewhere else. Hey, unprotected, huh? Take this, Tobias Harris. Take Jaden Springer. Take whatever we can give you, whatever second rounds we can give you, because obviously second round picks matter. It just. Because, like, obviously I don't feel like it. I don't feel like Jimmy's the type of guy to ask for a trade, even though he did it in Minnesota. But Minnesota, the guys there weren't the prototypical Jimmy Butler type of guys. And I think Miami Heat more so have those guys, and Bam and Tyler and, Kyle Lowry. I forgot Kyle Lowry was a player. Like, those guys, like, there are, like, more pit bull mentality than the Minnesota Timberwolves were. So he might stick it out a little bit more, and I don't think you force your way to get there, so I don't think going back on it is kind of crazy, but it's also Jimmy Butler, so
Jimmy's not afraid to be like, I don't like it here, I'm out.
right, and if it wasn't for fucking Brett Brown and Ben Simmons, I'm pretty sure we could have retained him.
Yeah, but I would say and there was some issues with ownership.
Yeah. No, it was definitely shit said.
Yeah.
Because I remember he did the thing with JJ when he first signed with Miami, and JJ was talking about him because JJ signed with New Orleans at the time. Somebody in management said, "Can you contain Jimmy?" or some shit like that.
I think it was somebody in the ownership group.
Say, "Can you contain him?" or something.
Can you
like
control
that.
him?
Yeah, there we go. Can you control him? And Jimmy like, I'm a grown ass man.
Yeah.
I'll just go. All right, cool. Yeah. I'll leave.
Like,
and it sucks
because I mean, at the same time, as a person, as an employee, it's like if I need to be controlled, then clearly you don't actually want me.
Right. You want a version of me.
What makes me me is the shit that I do. So it's like if you want to change me, then you don't want me.
And it's crazy because I feel like we've done a lot of dumb shit in hindsight. That was a dumb. We didn't understand it until like the other shit came out.
Yeah.
But we've done a lot of dumb shit in hindsight, like the Jason Tatum thing, the Mikal Bridges thing, where like it didn't work out, but it made sense in the moment. But over time, it did not work out.
Yeah.
Losing Jimmy fucked us up. One, because that was your superstar's best friend.
Yep.
He motivated and brought some shit out of Joel that we have not seen. Like, I feel like Joel was just now, these last 2 years, bringing it out of himself.
Yeah.
And obviously James with the facilitating, it's helping him get easier buckets.
Yeah.
But, like, Jamie brought some shit out of Joel that we've never seen. Like, Joel was happy. Like, literally happy. Smiling ear to ear every fucking day. Like, joking in the press conferences. Like Joel was, like, happy. He was in heaven. Because there was finally somebody who he can who can tell him what the fuck it is. Like, nobody's going to bullshit him. Nobody's going to tell him what he wants to hear. It was a guy that was telling him what he needed to fucking know and telling him to do it. He wasn't asking him. He was fucking telling him. And he hasn't had somebody, I'm pretty sure PJ's like that now. But, like, the guy who was, like, on his level at that point, because Joel didn't take the superstar step yet. Somebody on his level that was telling him what to do and, like, having his back, like in that Jerry Dudley situation. Yeah. Jimmy Butler got ejected from the game because he didn't like that shit. Like, somebody having his back, he hasn't had that. And I feel like even now, we got the constant rumors of James Harden might fucking wanting to leave. You know Joel's seeing that shit. Yeah. You know, the players, like Tobias said it on the Rice to Ricky Sanchez podcast. Like, we see the shit. We're going to act like we don't see it, but we see the shit. George Yang also alluded to it, too, when Matisse was getting traded. It's like, bro, we know what's going to happen, or we know when the writing's on the wall, or when something might change. Yeah. Like, we know that shit. It's not like everybody else know, and we're just fucking dumb to it. Like, they know, and that, you know what I mean? It's just a lot on.
And Pete, I think Jimmy too is in a rare situation because. Okay, your hair, it looks nice. Come here. You want to show Marquise? You got some twists.
Your hair looks nice. Carry me though.
He said your hair looks nice.
Hi.
Hi.
What do you say?
Hi.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, go ahead, boo boo. Can you close the door? Thank you. I think Jimmy's in a rare situation of like all the Philly stars who have like left of their own accord who can come back.
Right. And it's crazy because with the first game that we played him, that he came and played to Philly, like, we were booing him. But we weren't booing him because we hate him. We booed him because we didn't want him to leave.
Yeah,
Like, we were, like, every other person that we were boo is because we wanted them to fucking go. Like, we wanted them to go, or, like, we cheered them because we realized that, you know, it probably was time to part ways. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, TJ, like, it was time to part ways with TJ because we need a backup point guard that could shoot more, like, stuff like that. And it made sense. So every time TJ comes back, standing ovation. JJ was a stupid one, but every time he's broadcasted in Philly, standing ovation. Like, Jimmy's get booed every time because, like, literally, I think he's the only person that gets booed because we want him to be here.
Yeah.
Like, he's the only person.
Why'd you go?
Why?
It's like throwing rocks at your ex-girlfriend's window because she broke up with you, not because she did anything. It's just like, I fucking love you, bitch.
You bitch.
It's like that Tyler song. I fucking hate you because I love you.
Yeah. I hate you.
It's like, you can't. We're not mad at Jimmy, but we're mad at Jimmy.
We're mad at him because we could have been something special.
Yeah, exactly.
We could have been something special.
Exactly. And I think, you know, if I'm being honest, I don't even know if I would want Jimmy to come back while we have Doc. Because, not to say that I think we have the same issue as Brett Brown, but I think we'd have a similar issue. And on top of that, I think if you don't have James, anytime you have a team that doesn't have a true facilitator, that doesn't have like that floor general who can kind of run the offense and be a dynamic passer, you need to have a creative offense. Because you need to find ways to get guys shots without having somebody on the floor actively making it happen. And if your starting lineup is Jimmy Butler, PJ Tucker, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and DeAnthony Melton, you really don't have a facilitator out there. So it's like you got to have some type of offense that can get guys open.
What I will say is that Jimmy Butler has those capabilities of being a facilitator.
Not on a James Harden level.
No, of course not. Not on a James Harden level. But you just need someone to do it, right? Like, if you get Jimmy and Joe, like, say you trade Tobias, that first round pick, Furkan, Jaden Springer, whatever. You trade that for Jimmy, and that money that James Harden, I feel like if you get Jimmy Butler, James Harden probably not going to walk. But like, if you say James Harden still wants to go, he's going to Houston, whatever. you can just get like a fucking Ricky Rubio type, a guy who like a game manager, like in a sense of
but
like
to start.
To start. Because literally, you're gonna have Tyrese Maxey closing out games anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Just like a game manager, like legit, like who who's good at it, but just didn't get enough time, and it was weird that he was good at it. Fucking Raul Neto, he was weirdly good at it. Like he was weirdly good at it, and he's not like a playmaking type guy.
He was good at it. He was good at it, and he was good at it on the Wizards too. I would say Ish Smith was on that list as well, but he just wasn't dynamic enough.
He was a great facilitator, but I feel like Neto more so surprised you because it was like, damn, all right, I know, like handling the ball, bringing it up, making the right reads. And it was like, damn, I didn't even know, because when we signed him, it was just like, oh, I guess we got a guy that's on the bench, and then he finally got time. Obviously, he got his more of a shine with the Wizards, and you're like, damn, like,
it's like, whoa,
where was this at? You know, and because you saw it in like stretches, but it wasn't something that was going to be maintained and used, multiple times. Or it was like, oh damn, injury here. All right. That's Raul Neto. Like, you know what I mean?
I would say honestly, I could say even the same thing about TJ. I think TJ's skills were not used properly in his time in Philly. At least not after the emergence of like Ben and Joel, where they were ascending to like all-star level. I think once that happened, TJ kind of just became a guy who would come in and be like a pesky defender or whatever. But, as a point guard, I think TJ never really got his just due. I think there were things that he could do as a point guard that were just things that came from years of experience at the position that Ben just didn't have. There were times where one was the things that Ben used to do that would drive me the fuck crazy. He would bring the ball up the court. He would bring the ball up the court, right? Get to the top of the key and pick up his dribble.
Oh, like he does with Brooklyn Nets?
Yeah, he would get the outlet, bring the ball up the court, call the play, get to the top of the key, not see something, pick up his dribble to pass, and then the pass would be gone, and then he's just standing there with the ball. Like, TJ, as an actual point guard, one of the things I used to love watching him do was to just probe around the paint. Like, to just take the ball, dribble it, move over here, dribble it, look around. Like, he's looking for the pass, but he's still keeping his dribble alive while he looks for the pass.
He would do the Steve Nash thing where he would go under the rim, and I always would be like, just lay it up. Just throw it up.
He would go under the rim, but a lot of times you could set, like, if you watch, you could set like a little weird like pick under the rim too, where he comes out the other side and he has that wide open mid range shot.
You know, that little turnaround mid range that always went in.
It's like
always went in.
Yeah, but it's like, Ben, if you tried that, you probably could dunk it. But he's just like, nah,
I'm gonna pass it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass it from 30 feet and try to hit this guy in the corner.
TJ, oh my God! Never mind. TJ back on the Sixers.
I think I would like that. I mean, I would be just as happy with TJ getting Shake Milton type minutes, like the minutes that Shake is getting now. I would be just as happy with TJ getting those kinds of minutes.
I would too. I mean, I feel like our fucking spacing would be shit, but
I kind of don't.
CJ's not a shooter.
But again, this goes back to what I said before, which is even if you do have Tyrese as the sixth man, he can't be the primary ball handler. You have to have Shake, or in this case TJ, still be that primary ball handler so he can make a move, initiate the offense, and then get Tyrese in motion. And give him the ball in movement, so that way he doesn't have to try and create something for himself from the top of the key.
Yeah, Miami Heat, give us Jimmy back.
Give us Jimmy back.
Give us Jimmy back.
You guys, you don't need Jimmy. We'll give us Jimmy.
You can have Tobias. He's very good at things, and you guys need help with things.
Yep.
And he can shoot.
And on top of that, I would argue that's a good switch. Like, I would say Jimmy and Tobias are probably in opposite situations right now.
Tobias led the Sixers past the Nets, fully healthy Nets, and he damn near like sprained his ankle, came right back. Yep. Led the Sixers. He's a great leader. He reads books. That's that's
and on top
thing.
of that, I think Jimmy, it's kind of like you got Jimmy, right? And Jimmy wanted to be surrounded by guys who are like him. Mm-hmm. But the problem is you can sometimes have issues with a team full of guys like Jimmy.
Yes.
Because we've seen so many blow-ups. We've seen so many blow-ups with the Heat, like Jimmy blowing up at Bam, Jimmy blowing up at Coach Spoelstra.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen so many different blow-ups from them, like, having these losing streaks. But at the same time, it's like somebody has to be the level-headed one to say, like, guys, it's the regular season. Like, we're not playing for we're playing for the playoffs. Like,
there's nobody on the Heat. I'm going down the roster. There's no one on the Heat. Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin is the only person on the Heat shooting 40%, and he's not even attempted that many.
Yeah.
Victor Oladipo's only played one game. Damn, they brought him back, and he's only played one game.
Because he's the same as Jimmy. Like, their game offensively is too similar.
Let me check, see if he's injured.
Like, that's the thing. The Heat have a team full of guys like Jimmy. But it's like you don't.
That's crazy. Victor Oladipo would be nice on the Sixers. Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
In the starting lineup?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's not starting now. Why the fuck would you come up to that?
Okay. I was about to say, I was like, where exactly do you mean? Like, just on the Sixers or like heavy minutes on the Sixers?
He's going to come off the bench.
Oh, okay.
He's active. He's fully active. And he's played one game.
Yeah. I mean, he would basically be giving you a better version of what Shake gives you.
Wait. Hold up. Wait, did I read that wrong? Was that his last 5 games? I think it was his last 5 games.
Probably.
Because my mic is like far away from me.
Because I think he's played more than one game.
Yeah, he's played more than one game. He's played 28, but that was his last 5 games. And he didn't play. Yeah, he played one time. Damn. He's getting DMPs?
Yeah.
Look, literally. Oh, wait, I'm going to show you.
But people were saying that, though. They were like, can a guy like Victor Oladipo play next to Jimmy? And the answer was honestly no. Like, that's why you have Tyler Hero. But then Tyler Hero is not advancing at all. So they're kind of just, like you said, like they're just not making any progress. It's not that they're regressing. They're just not making any progress.
Yeah.
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 It sucks, man. Victor Oladipo he had a lot of like promise.
He was the Larry Markkinen before Larry Markkinen.
Yeah.
He came out of nowhere. I mean, I wouldn't say he really came out of nowhere. He was the number 2 pick in the draft, but he was
the number 2 pick in a draft that was kind of terrible.
Yeah, it was very terrible. The best player is speaking of Mike Carter-Williams, he just got signed today by the Magic.
Oh, really?
So Mike Carter-Williams, MCW, is
back on the Magic.
Back on the Magic. Back on the Magic. Just got his little deal today. You know what I mean? He last year with 2020. Damn, 2020. In 2020, he averaged 8 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Typical Mike Carter-Williams shit.
Yep.
And I still don't understand. Oh, now they got Michael Carter-Williams. Did they always have Michael Carter-Williams?
Typical Michael Carter-Williams numbers are he's dangerously close to the lowest triple-double you could possibly average.
10, 10, and 10. Wait, have they ever been on a court together?
Now,
they were on the team together at one point. That is crazy.
Who?
Wait. I'll show you. Window. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. Michael Carter-Williams was Jason Tatum before Jason Tatum. St. Louis.
I don't know about that.
He was Ben Simmons before Ben Simmons.
There we go.
And he fell off just like Ben Simmons.
Yep. But I don't know. I mean, it's so weird. It's so weird trying to predict like, what the Sixers should do or what they. Why hasn't Mac McClung played?
Because Doc Rivers is not going to play.
So it's like that's the thing. It's like, why do we sign guys? Why do we do it? Why do we have players?
I don't know. But Sean, in a million years, I've never thought. Well, after the draft, I never thought I'd say this, but Markelle Fultz is better than Ben Simmons. He's better.
I don't know.
He's better.
I don't know.
What's Ben Simmons averaging versus what Markelle Fultz is averaging?
But when you say better,
he's better, bro.
I feel like there's more that plays into that, and I think availability is one of those things.
Defensively,
because think about it. Just think about it. Is Jonathan Isaac better than Brandon Ingram?
No, but he never was.
Well, no, but Jonathan Isaac can do everything Brandon Ingram can. The difference is Ingram plays a lot more.
No, he can't. He can do everything.
Yes, he can.
No, he cannot.
Yes, he can.
No,
he's not as great of a ball handler, but he's got the same size.
Nothing. He can't shoot. He can't score. No.
Wait a minute. Am I thinking of a different player? Hold on a second.
You gotta be. You gotta be because Jonathan Isaac wasn't on shit. He was a great defender, but that's like where that stopped.
Hold on a second. Where's Basketball Reference? Here we go.
That's where that stopped.
Jonathan Isaac is averaging 40% from the 3-point line, 41% field goal percentage.
Mm-hmm.
He's only played 11 games though. 5 points per game, 4 rebounds, and how many minutes? Oh, wait. 11 minutes per game.
In 11 games, Jonathan Isaac, when he plays basketball, shoots 32% from the free throw line, from the field.
Okay. Wait, what year are you looking at?
The one that okay, we could count this one. He shot 34% from 3-point line. This is the last year that matters because it was he actually played minutes.
You're talking about his second year in the league?
We're talking about his first 3 years.
Oh, okay. Third year, 28 minutes per game?
Yeah.
Is that what you're looking at? Okay.
Yeah.
50% from the field.
That's 47.
What the fuck? Oh, 47. Sorry. I'm looking at two different numbers. 47% from the field, 34% from 3.
That's not
11.9 points. 77% from, well, like 77, 78% from the field
Brandon
goal.
Ingram was doing that in his rookie year.
Yeah.
He's not at all. Brandon Ingram.
But remember, Jonathan Isaac barely had a rookie year. He played like 23 games.
So?
That's what I'm saying. Like, Jonathan Isaac could have been everything that Brandon... They have the same tools. The difference is Jonathan Isaac hasn't played.
Jonathan Isaac does not have the same tools as Brandon Ingram.
What? Yes, he does. Not ball handling. Not ball handling. Not ball handling. But size, shooting ability. Jonathan Isaac can knock down.
That is half the battle. Because now you can't create your own shot because you can't handle the ball.
True, but at the same time, look how much time that Brandon Ingram has had to improve. Like, look at Brandon Ingram in Duke. He wasn't a ball handler. He wasn't what the ball handler he is now. So it's like you have to be available. Is what I'm trying to say.
That's like saying Greg Oden was really better than Kevin Durant because in those sample sizes he was amazing. But the means couldn't.
He could have been.
I can't say he could have been. I can't say he could have been because it didn't happen.
Of course it didn't happen, but I'm saying it could have happened, but we don't know. Like, to say Markelle Fultz is better than Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is an all-star, like a 2-time all-star. He was a defensive player of the year candidate. Like,
right now, this year, Markelle Fultz is better.
He's playing better right now, yes. But who's the better player?
Right now, this year?
No, not right. Is that what you're talking about? You're just talking about right now?
Because Ben Simmons is never going to go back to what he used to be.
Why? Over. Why do you think that?
That's over, bro.
What makes you think that?
Because his confidence is shot, bro. That shit is gone.
Okay, I can understand you saying that, but to say that he just could never...
He can't make a team. He literally was traded there to be the third star.
Yes.
And then... Cam Thomas is getting more minutes than him.
That's true.
They are finding time to play Day'Ron Sharp, but they can't find time to play Ben Simmons. Sean,
listen.
Yuta Watanabe was a fucking walk-on. He was a walk-on,
He's
Sean.
nice, though.
He was a walk-on.
I like Yuta.
He was an NBA walk-on. He's getting paid more time than Ben Simmons. He was the NBA version of a walk-on, okay? Let me go through the Nets roster now. I just gotta see.
But the point that I'm trying to make is, I understand if you think Ben Simmons will never be the Ben Simmons he was before, but if you're judging off of their careers, to say that Markelle Fultz is a better player than Ben is kind of wild.
I feel like from this point on.
From this point on, I get it, but you got to specify that. You got to say that, like, specifically.
They are finding time for David Duke Jr. I don't even know who the fuck that is.
That sounds like a barbecue sauce.
David Duke Jr., okay? David Duke Jr. is getting time. Edmund Sumner is getting time. Okay? Who the fuck is that?
That sounds like a surgeon.
Drew Smith. Who the fuck is Drew Smith? This is a created character.
Drew Smith sounds like an NFL kicker.
Sean, he has played 3 games in the last 10. Do you know how many games Ben Simmons has played in the last 10 games?
1.
None.
Is he hurt?
He's out the rotation.
Damn.
They say he's day-to-day, but... Oh, he played against Miami. When was this? Oh, never mind. That was on the 15th. And they beat Miami. Oh, look. He just doesn't... Is Ben Simmons going to be one of those guys where, like, he had the promise... Well, I feel like he's already going into that pattern. He has a promise, but he's going to be, like, a very great role player. Like, he's going to go somewhere like Dallas and be, like, a center. And
like,
he's going to be... Right.
Like Aaron Gordon?
Right, like Aaron Gordon. He's going to go to a place where it's like he failed as a star, but then he goes somewhere else and he's a perfect fit because he doesn't get paid as much. And he can... Like, the idea of Ben Simmons is better than Ben Simmons at this point. Yeah. Because, like, a 6'10" guy who could guard 1 through 5, legit guard 1 through 5, can play make, lob, catch lobs, do all this other stuff. Like, the idea of him, every team would want, because essentially who I want the Sixers to trade for, Jared Vanderbilt, is literally that. I mean, he's not the playmaker, but everything else, he does everything. He does a little bit of everything. Obviously, in Ben's case, not shooting, but he does a little bit of everything. I had to throw that in there. And, like, he's going to be a great role player. You know what's crazy? You know who we could use a Ben Simmons for a backup center. You know who I think Ben Simmons is equivalent to?
Whoa! Wait a minute! I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that at all. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready to hear that, and I wasn't ready to believe it.
Can you imagine?
Wait a minute. Wait, stop. Wait, stop it. Because you already, when you said Al Horford would fit on this team, and I was like, damn, he kind of would. Now you hit me with Ben Simmons as who we need at backup center. Now I'm like, oh, shit.
But it's like, bro, it kind of is, bro. Somebody who could guard 1 through 5.
And just catch lobs.
Bro, can you imagine Ben Simmons get brought out by the Nets? Because that's been, like, around. Like, he's going to get brought out in the summer. Or, well, he might be. It's not, like, for sure, but there is rumors that he might be or he's going to get traded. But then again, who can trade for Ben Simmons because he's making $33 million? The Nets are kind of in this pseudo rebuild-ish, retool-ish mode. So them taking that hit probably doesn't matter that much for them because they just rather just get him out the way, I guess. Kind of like the Sixers did, where they were like, hey, go somewhere else. He goes somewhere, and the Sixers trade for him. The Sixers, can you imagine Ben Simmons back on the Sixers, but as a backup 5?
I don't like. I mean, fuck. That makes sense, but I don't like it.
so he'll be the
he's
best
out of
backup.
line, but he's right.
He'll be the best backup center Joel has ever had because he can rebound, he can defend, catch lobs. Sean, Ben Simmons is Mason Plumlee at this point. Sean.
But a better ball handler. Yo, a Ben Simmons, I mean, we've seen it already, so I don't even know why I was about to say it like, oh, it would be great if we could see it. But we have seen it. Ben Simmons and Tyrese Maxey fast breaks. We've seen it. we have seen it. Oh, shit.
Bro, can you imagine if Ben Simmons is the backup that we've been waiting for? He's the backup center that we've been waiting for. It's Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons comes back to Philly, and they win a championship, and he's backup center. Can you imagine if he does some Dwight Howard shit? Like, it's somewhere down the line, Ben Simmons comes back to the Sixers, and they win a championship.
Like Dwight with the Lakers?
Like Dwight with the Lakers? That will be fucking crazy, bro.
But Joel wouldn't be there, though.
No, Joel probably wouldn't be there. I feel
the same way Kobe wasn't there when Dwight came back.
Yeah, no. I feel like it'll be Tyrese Maxey's team. Please God, don't trade him. Please God, don't trade him. Please God. Please God.
That's crazy.
Because it makes sense, bro. It makes sense. Everything we've wanted from a backup center.
I don't like the sound of it.
You don't like the sound of it, but it's exactly what we want. It's exactly what we need. It's what we deserve. Can you imagine Ben Simmons on the same team as George Niang? Can you imagine after all this shit? It's like, hey, you better pass me the ball, bitch.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I'd rather have.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you imagine Ben Simmons comes to the Sixers? Listen, bro. This is hypothetical. Ben Simmons comes to the Sixers. Joel gets injured. Ben Simmons becomes the center, and we win the championship on some Nick Foles shit. Can you imagine?
I would hate. I don't think I could be a Sixers fan after that. No. I can't be a Sixers fan after that. I can't be a Sixers fan after that. I can't do it. I can't do it. Because that's not the same thing at all.
Bro,
I mean, that's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same situation. But the differences in the personalities between the players, and on top of that, like Ben Simmons is actually personality-wise more in line with Carson Wentz than Nick Foles. Whereas personality-wise, Joel is more in line with Nick Foles than Carson Wentz. So it's like, when Nick Foles came in, it's like people were seriously considering, like, all right, why don't we just keep Foles? Completely ignoring the fact that Carson Wentz had like an MVP caliber season before he got injured. But there was already whispers in the locker room of like, you know, Carson isn't the best leader. Like, yeah, he's a great player, but Nick is a better leader. He's better with the guys.
Right.
So it was like there were those rumors. There's none of that with the Sixers. So if Ben was to come back and win a championship as the backup center, and they were to like actually consider as the starting center, and they were to actually consider keeping him just because he won a championship, completely ignoring the fact that Joel is clearly the better center and more liked by the city and more liked by the organization than the other players, but because you won a championship with Ben, you think that's what you have to do? I couldn't be a Sixers fan after that if they decided to let go of Joel the same way the Eagles let go of Carson Wentz.
I feel like you wouldn't let go of Ben. You wouldn't let go of Joel at that point.
But with Joel,
it was
is Ben going to go back to being a backup center?
No, he's going back to backup center.
Ben is going to go back to being a backup.
You know, when you're in doubt, you got to ask that backup. Come on, man. And it makes so much sense.
And you know what I would hate too is that there's going to be people who like, oh, just bring Ben back. Don't just trade Joel. We don't need him. We already won a championship.
Same shit
Ben.
again. The same shit that we went through again. When they were like, we got to build around. You got to build around Ben. Joel's injury prone, and then fucking Ben gets injured like 3 years in a row.
I can't be. I'd just be a Warriors fan. The Warriors might be trash by that point. I'd be like, fuck it. I'm a Warriors fan.
Going to become a Celtics fan?
I believe in Bob.
Bob Myers.
I believe in them more than I believe in this shit. I can't.
That data would be fucking nuts.
At that point, the only organization, and it's hard because you won a championship, so it's hard to even say this. But at that point, if that was like the actual narrative, where because we had this amazing team. Where Ben was able to just walk in and win a championship as the backup center. Because of that, you're considering getting rid of Joel, or you actually get rid of Joel to keep Ben as starting center. I would put that in up there with like Kings level terrible organization.
Right.
Even though you just won a championship, that is some Sacramento Kings level.
Before we finish that, before I let you finish that, we talked a lot of shit about the Kings. But the Kings are in third spot.
And look at them.
Look at you. They got their own Ben Simmons. His name is Demontis Simonis.
But I mean,
he's a better shooter though.
I think a lot of people got on the Kings, especially JJ, after the trade.
Well, also Tyrese Halliburton is like JJ's guy. So.
Well, yeah, of course, but I mean,
it does make their window shorter. It does. They don't even have a window. They have, like, a driveway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, you ain't doing shit.
I would say that's just bigger than a window, though. I would say...
But the window would want
something small, like a keyhole. They have a hole in the wall. There's no shutters. There's no, like, opening and closing latch. It's just like, there's a hole here. Get through.
They have a bed in the attic. They have a bed in the attic. They just don't. They don't have a room.
I think you're misunderstanding the window metaphor.
I want to make my own.
Okay. It's just furniture.
They have an ornament on the Christmas tree.
What?
They don't have quite a present yet. They don't have a present under it, but they have an ornament on the Christmas tree.
Okay. Anyway,
they have a fork in the dishwasher.
As I was about to say, I think people got on the Kings about the Halliburton trade because they thought that Halliburton was a better player than Fox, and I think in reality they're closer than people realize. But when you're talking about fit, Domantas Sabonis is clearly a much better fit next to De'Aaron Fox than Tyrese Halliburton was. So it's like you're not going to be able to keep both of them. If you want to trade Halliburton or trade Fox, you're not going to get Sabonis for him. So it's like you're either way, you end up with Halliburton and Turner, and then Sabonis and Fox. So it's like either you have Halliburton and Turner on the Kings, or you have Halliburton and Turner on the Pacers. And I think as of right now, Halliburton and Turner is not the better matchup that you want. Fox and Sabonis is. So, good on you for the Sacramento Kings for figuring that out before anybody else in the world did.
Yeah, because it won't last long. But you did. You did. Yeah. The streak is over.
Yep.
The streak is over. It's over, Sean. It's over.
The Sacramento Kings are going to the playoffs. Likely, most likely. It'd be hard for them to drop out at this point.
You got 22 games left, 22-ish games.
Unless they have to lose almost all of them.
Can you imagine if they go on a 22-game with losing streak, Sean? Can you imagine?
Because who's in the 8th seed right now? The Timberwolves are in the 8th seed at 500. The Kings are 9 games above 500. Yeah, they'd have to lose at least half of their next game of the rest of their games.
Yeah, they play like the Thunder, the Clippers, Timberwolves, Pelicans, the Knicks, Suns, Bucks, Bulls, Nets, Wizards, Jazz, Celtics. They have a couple tough games in there, but they have a lot of like the fucking the Thunder. They're probably going to start sitting guys. because they want to start, the tank. Trailblazers aren't on shit. I haven't checked on Matisse for a minute. Let's see what Matisse is
now,
doing.
Let me ask you this, too. Do you think the Trailblazers... do you think the Thunder should even do that?
What, to let their guys sit?
Like, should they start tanking?
God, look, Sean, he's doing it. Matisse is doing it. He's doing Matisse things. He played 17 minutes, had 0 points. 2 rebounds, a steal, and an assist.
Yep.
I miss Matisse. I miss Matisse the person, not the basketball player.
Meanwhile, Cam Reddish has 2, 2, 2.
Oh, did you see what they did to his thing?
Oh, the mural? Yeah.
Yeah, they fucking put paint over it. It's like, why?
I don't know. I feel like that was definitely one of those things where it's like, whoever did that, we don't claim them.
Right. It's like, come on now.
That was not a Sixers fan who did that.
Right. Because, we love Matisse, but we
It was
know
literally somebody who probably saw the video of him spraying thank you and was just
found out where it was.
Let me fuck this up.
Oh, no. They're still playing, so he has a chance to score. They're up right now on the Rockets. Yeah, they're up right now on the Rockets, so he might score. He's averaging 7 points with them, which is higher than he's ever done in his career. He's shooting 45% from 3.
All right, so there's one last thing that I want to talk about before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook. Is it over?
No.
No.
No, okay. No. I feel like it's hard to, because they were scared. What basically what people are saying is he couldn't go the Carmelo Anthony route, where all the teams see him as a cancer and just leave him alone. But what I would say and what I would urge people to look at is he has changed himself so fucking much, and the Lakers used him as a scapegoat. Mm-hmm. Even though, because literally, this is what they were doing. This is why I don't understand with the fucking Lakers, is that Russell Westbrook is not that guy no more. They were putting him in positions where he had to be, instead of letting him be he's a role player. In this part of his career, he's a role player plus. He's a role player, but he can still have star moments. He's not a star. When you are literally counting on him to be, literally, he's not OKC Russ no more. He's not MVP Russ no more. You can't hand him the ball and go take me there. He's not that guy no more. And the Lakers were in a lot of situations where they were doing it. And what I'm worried about with the Clippers is PG and Kawhi, they take a lot of games off.
Yeah.
Whereas though Russ might be the only guy playing.
Yeah.
Which either are going to go in one or two ways. Whereas Russ is going to shine because he can do Russ shit, or he's going to wet the bed in their terms. Because I just don't understand putting him in this light where it's not who he is anymore.
I think the Clippers were definitely a better fit for Russ than the Lakers.
100%.
However, what I still don't understand is what the fuck the Clippers are doing, or what they're trying to do with their point guard situation. Because if I'm not mistaken, they still have John Wall, right?
No, John Wall is a free agent.
Oh,
he was traded to the Houston Rockets, and the Rockets is crazy as fuck. He got traded back to the Rockets. He was traded to the Houston Rockets, and then he was released. John Wall is a free agent right now.
Good.
So yeah,
I don't know.
Also,
it still doesn't really make sense to me. Russ on the Clippers. I feel like Russ. You know what team I feel like would be perfect for Russ?
Oh.
And it's kind of ironic because there's a guy who he used to play with who was just there, who left, and him leaving is actually what made it the perfect team for Russ. The Nets.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Are you talking about now?
Now.
I feel like if Ben Simmons is not going to play, I don't think Russell Westbrook is not going to play.
I think if see, the difference is up here. What Ben Simmons lacks, Russ has,
I think they're scared
which is the
of
confidence.
Up here. They're scared. The Nets are scared of the lack of up here with Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
I think they would be scared of up here with Westbrook. I think they would be scared of.
I think once he gets out there and once he gets going, and you have those shooters around him, you have Seth Curry, Utah, Joe Harris. I think once that gets going, that scare goes away.
Westbrook would be thinking, "Oh, I'm the star again."
Maybe, But he's also new in this situation. Because look at Russ in DC. Like, he still was deferring a little bit to Bradley Beal.
I'll be honest with you. That's probably the best place for him. I think he should have stayed there, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't his choice to get traded from DC.
It was.
It was?
Yeah, he asked for it.
I didn't know
he tried to get Bradley Beal to ask for one, too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he asked for a trade. Because they were confusing what to do and all the yada, the ex-Russ. Because, Russ was... basically, they traded him just to see what happened. They made the playoffs. Lost to us. And, I think they asked him, did he want to get traded? Because I don't think he requested a trade. They asked him, and then he said, yeah.
I don't remember him requesting one.
Because the Lakers was there, and LeBron was like, hey, wanna come over here? And then the Lakers kind of fucked themselves over. Yeah. Because you traded a championship caliber team, a proven team that won the championship, even though it was a Mickey Mouse ring. And you traded that away. And I feel like they're going to try to win now, and they're probably going to try to get themselves in the play-in. But I feel like this team going into next year is going to be a playoff team. But I don't know if they could turn it around now.
Who?
Because they're like, what, the 11th seed? Let me look it up.
The Wizards?
The Lakers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think they're like the 11th seed. They are the 11th seed, yeah. 11th seed, they are, one game behind the Pelicans. Damn! The Pelicans fell off.
Yeah.
Damn, Pelicans was like they was like top 4.
It's like last year with the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks didn't drop that far, but last year, like, it was the same thing. The Knicks were...
I mean, Zion's not playing, but they still have a squad, bro. They was busting teams' ass.
Well, I mean, Zion's not playing. Brandon Ingram is out. I think CJ missed a significant amount of time.
Damn.
Like, they have some injury issues towards like, the middle.
They're below the Jazz.
Yeah. And remember, the Jazz started out hot, too.
The Warriors only a game and a half behind the Mavericks for the 6th seed.
Yep.
This is the whole thing, right? Because if the Lakers can get in, they have the tools. Like, literally, Jared Vanderbilt just went off for, like, fucking 17 boards, 15 points, 4 blocks.
Yeah.
Reason why I wanted him, because he could guard 1 through 5. Like, they have the tools to fuck up a team. And then LeBron, obviously LeBron just got injured. Hopefully he's okay. AD, not where he was. AD was damn near in MVP considerations before he got injured the first time. He was averaging like 28 and 12.
Yeah. See, that's the thing about the Lakers. They're scary because you gotta beat LeBron 4 times.
Yeah, LeBron. When you got LeBron, you got a chance, bro.
It's like it's not even like. Obviously, them making the adjustments that they've made, getting younger, getting more athletic, like that's going to be a huge help. But having LeBron James, that experience, that type of basketball IQ in the postseason,
just
postseason LeBron is still a thing.
It definitely is.
So, like beating LeBron 4 times, that's tough. Beating LeBron one night in the regular season, not so tough.
Right.
Like, sure, it's hard. He's gonna give you buckets, but he's also gonna take a couple plays off, especially on the defensive end at this age, especially. But in the playoffs, like beating LeBron 4 times, especially when he also has 4 chances to understand you, like that's tough.
It definitely is.
That's why I don't think anybody wants to see the Lakers in like the first round, especially if they're healthy.
Especially, I don't think nobody want to fuck with the Warriors in the first round either.
Yeah, because Steph is,
literally. Can you imagine?
Steph comes back.
Because they're only a game and a half out of 6th place. That is a for sure playoff spot.
Yep.
I'll be honest with you. The Nuggets don't want to see that man again. They don't want to see that. He fucking destroyed Jokic. He put Jokic in every fucking pick and roll, and Jokic did not know what the fuck to do. I mean, obviously, you think Aaron Gordon will hop out a little bit, but like they're going to key in on him, and it's probably not going to be good.
Yeah,
it's not going to be good.
Well, I mean, if they do face the Nuggets, it would be the 2nd round.
Yeah. Can you imagine if Jokic? See, this is the whole thing, and
Actually, what's really interesting is that if things stay the way that they are, the Warriors will play the Grizzlies in the first round. And then the Nuggets in the second round.
Either way, teams got to go through a fucking blood. They had to shed blood to get to the finals this year because everybody is competitive. Also, one last thing, then we can wrap it up because I know you got to go to work early. Will Barton has been linked to the Sixers. I like it.
I mean, I like it. Yeah, it doesn't solve any issue.
It doesn't. But what if Dwayne Dedmon comes back and Dwayne Dedmon is the best center that ever back up Joel?
I don't see Dwayne Dedmon being that much better than Andre Drummond.
I hope he's as good. I hope, Sean.
We can only
because that's all we got.
Yeah.
We'll wrap it up.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was yet another episode of the Untitled Hoops podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you go and check it out on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. See some of the older episodes that you might have missed, or you can even go to the website blackflagent.online and check out some of our other podcasts if you're into other things like Marvel or anime or just random
porn.
Weird conversations about things that may include porn. Usually that's Marquise talking about that. But you can go ahead and see some of that other stuff on our website, or you can even check out the store. Check out some of the merch that's on there. We have T-shirts, sweatpants, hats. You can get a beanie like the one Marquise is wearing now, but with the actual Lowlights Network logo on it, so that'd be cool. You would think that he would be representing, but he's not. He never has. He's a sellout.
You don't have a shirt on either.
It's in my room. I can go get it. Yeah, exactly. Silence. Anyway. At least I actually own one. Anyway. Thank you for hanging out with us. Make sure to join us next time for the next episode. And also follow us on the socials. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. If you have a TikTok, I don't have a TikTok. I'm old. But we're on there. And we're ticking. That was bad. That was very old of me. Anyway, good night, everybody. Marquise.
Bush did 9/11.
What?
Bush did 9/11.
Bush did 9/11.
He did 9/11. It's a new sex position. It's a new sex position.
All right, let's go.
So he did a 9/11.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.